Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, you're audible and visible too.
Visible and audible. It is nice. Hare Krishna, good
Yes.
evening. Om Agyana
Hare Krishna,
Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yenata Smai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manok Pishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svairupa Kadama Yam Dadati Svapadantikam. Ванча калпатарубья щакрипа синубья эва чапатитанам паванабьё вайшнавабьё намо намаха. Джай Шри Кришна Чайтанья Прабху Нитянанда Шри Адвейт Гададхара Шри Васади Гаура Бхакта Вринда. Харе Кришна, Харе Кришна, Кришна Кришна, Харе Харе, Харе Рама, Харе Рама, Рама Рама, Харе Харе. So today we're going to continue the discussion of the topic which we already were discussing last Saturday. And this subject matter is about mercy, how this mercy acts and works in our spiritual life. And let's read the verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And now I'm going to show this verse on the screen. Is it visible or not? Please tell me.
Yes, Prabhuji, it is.
Visible. Okay, very nice. So here in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, verse number 5 from 8th chapter, it is said, by remembering the lotus feet of the Pancha Tattva, a dumb man can become a poet, a lame man can cross mountains, and a blind man can see the stars in the sky. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that there are different kinds of perfection or ways to attain perfection. There is sadhana siddha, nitya siddha, and kripa siddha. And sadhana siddha means perfection which is attained by executing devotional service. Nitya siddha means the position of those who are always situated in spiritual world and they never forget Krishna. And Kripa Siddha means what? Kripa Siddha means perfection which is attained by the mercy of the spiritual master or another Vaishnava. So this verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is about Kripa Siddha. We can get some perfection just by mercy. But we cannot rely on mercy only. We should put our endeavors also. So he gives the examples that by remembering the lotus feet of the Panchatattva, a dumb man can become a poet, a lame man can cross mountains, and a blind man can see the stars in the sky. And who is saying this? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying this. He is the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And when he was writing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was quite old man, and it was quite difficult for him even to handle the how do we call it, the pen or the something else, the stick, something which he was using to write this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we know that this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is huge book, many volumes, and it was written by a person who was 80 plus years old, as far as I remember. So he was praying to Shri Shri Panchatattva, and he was praying to Supreme Lord, and he was praying to the whole Shri Guru Parampara in order to get this mercy, to be able to write this book. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that if we want to, just let me check, what should I push in order to close the slides? Don't you know? I can push here. Okay. So for any action we need mercy, especially if we are about to do something extraordinary, Like, for example, Srila Prabhupada, he was instructed to distribute Krishna consciousness movement all around the world. And for this, the specific qualification is needed. If someone thinks about himself that I have this qualification by default, it means he is quite proud person. And because this qualification can be given only by Supreme Lord. Because Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, as super soul. So by mercy of this super soul, people can be convinced in Krishna consciousness teachings, or otherwise, this super soul can uh, can how to say. Uh, Anyway, if there is mercy of super soul, then it works. If there is no mercy of super soul, if there is no mercy of Krishna, it doesn't work. So mercy is needed everywhere. And there is a custom, especially in India, when you see a sadhu, you are asking him, give me mercy, kripa karo, give me mercy. But what kind of mercy we are asking about? That is the question. And some people, if the sadhu will ask that person, what kind of mercy you need, what kind of mercy you want, some people, for some people, it is quite difficult to explain what exactly they want. So let's try to analyze from theological position what kind of mercy is needed. And mercy means what? Mercy means that Supreme Lord is our well-wisher, and his servants, Vaishnavas, they are also our well-wishers. And we ask them to bless us for spiritual journey, for spiritual advancement. Krishna is well-wisher of everyone by default. That is 100% true. But if we do something which pleases Krishna, then he becomes even how to say, even more. He acts even more as our well-wisher. So how we can inspire other devotees to be our well-wishers? We can inspire them to do it if we are able to satisfy them, to satisfy by our service. And then, especially senior devotees, they see our sincerity or our attempts to be a good servant or our attempts to develop good qualities. And in such way, when this sincerity, because this sincerity always inspiring, sincerity is always inspiring. So just by seeing this sincerity, these devotees, senior devotees, can say that, oh, this young man has bright future. Or for example, this young Mataji, she has a bright future. And we wish her, or we wish him all the best in her spiritual life or in his spiritual life. It works like this. So the more people we have in our life who wishes us all the best in our spiritual journey, the better our position is. And for that we have to collect their blessings, to collect their uh, uh, to to inspire them, to inspire them to be our well wishers. And ultimately, the supreme well-wisher of everyone is Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. No one can take this position of Krishna. And Krishna, he is saying in Bhagavad Gita in the 5th chapter, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, which is the third line is very important. Gyatvam Amshantim Richhati. Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is well-wisher of each and every living entity. We're trying to be well-wishers of some people. For some people, we are well-wishers, and some people we don't like, and because of that, it is not so easy for us to be their well-wishers. We can help some people, and we are unable to help other category of people, but Supreme Lord can do everything. He can do everything. So, for example, if we see some troubles that a devotee experiences, troubles on his spiritual journey, and we are unable to help him. For example, someone is criticizing other devotees, and no one can convince. But anyway, no one can convince him that it is not good to criticize other devotees. But anyway, Krishna will convince him, and the flow of life also will convince him. It will take time. It will take time, and but anyway, ultimately he will he will come to the proper conclusion. What is right and what is wrong. So again, three categories of siddhis, means those who achieved perfection. The first one is nitya siddhi, means they are always staying in spiritual world. They are inhabitants of spiritual world, and everything is okay with them. And and if to speak about Kripa siddhi, means well, these personalities are quite rare in this world. It is the situation when they are blessed by Supreme Lord Himself, or by the representatives of Supreme Lord. But mainly we are sadhana siddhis, means we can expect that we will achieve the perfection in due course of time. We will achieve this spiritual perfection just by practicing our sadhana, by waking up early in the morning and by chanting holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, every day. It requires endeavors, and sometimes we get some mercy from sadhus, from spiritual masters, and so on. But the main thing is our endeavors, because sometimes we get this mercy, but it is not that this mercy is given without our endeavors each and every moment when we need this mercy. Mercy is mercy, but endeavors are also needed. When we put endeavors, then spiritual master is inspired to give more mercy. And if we are just waiting for mercy, then naturally he is not so much inspired to give mercy out of nothing. So mercy is manifested in his instructions. He is saying, chant holy names of Krishna. And we chant holy names. When we chant holy names, it is our endeavors. But when we have got this instruction to chant holy names of Krishna, this moment when we have got this instruction to chant holy names of Krishna, this moment should be considered as a moment when we have got mercy, because it is not that each and every person knows that they should chant Hare Krishna. This moment comes, this unique, confidential, intimate moment comes when someone tells us that it is Yuga Dharma, it is the most powerful process for this Kali Yuga age. And then we put endeavors in order to chant holy names of Krishna. So basically, it works like a box, a box which is closed. And so first we get this box, and something is inside. And it is the moment when we get kripa, when we get mercy. But then we have to open this box, and we have to put some endeavors to open this box. So the same way, we put some endeavors to follow this instruction, and then box is opened. It means that and when box is opened, then it means that we actually have got mercy. Because when we have got mercy just by listening the instruction, it is one story. But when we implemented this instruction in our life, and this implementation of the instruction has transformed our life, it is also mercy. It can be compared with this process of unpacking the box in which mercy is situated. So Srila Prabhupada gives another example. He is speaking about how to say, jar with honey. You can open this, and then you can enjoy the taste of honey. But you can enjoy this taste only in case if you put some endeavors to open this jar. Otherwise, honey is inside. You are outside. You are outsider. You cannot enjoy this honey. Honey is inside. Honey is protected from you if you don't want to put endeavors to open this jar. It is very simple to understand. So some more verses about mercy of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have the verse from Madhya Lila, chapter 22, verse number 1, where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he is saying, I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is an ocean of transcendental mercy, and although the subject matter of Bhakti Yoga is very confidential, he has nonetheless manifested it so nicely, even in this age of Kali, the age of quarrel. You see? So mercy is given. Mercy is given in that sense that this knowledge about holy name, this knowledge about spiritual life is confidential by itself. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it in such attractive manner, in such sweet manner. It is also particular aspect of his mercy. Otherwise, we would be acting like ordinary karmis, like ordinary materialistic people without practicing this Yuga Dharma. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter number 7, it is explained how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was going from one village to another, and he was embracing everyone, and he was chanting Hari, 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 and he was also chanting his famous song, Krishna, 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 He. Krishna, 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 He. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. And he was embracing different people who he was meeting in these villages. And because of that, he was investing each of them with spiritual potency. And then these people were becoming empowered people. And when they would return to their own villages, they were always chanting the holy name of Krishna. And they were requesting everyone and anyone to chant holy names of Krishna. And in such way, these villagers would also become devotees of Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. And also here in the verse number 7.102 from Madhya Lila, it is written that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was empowering these people, these villagers, to such extent that people from different villages were becoming devotees, were becoming like him simply by seeing him and by receiving the mercy of his glance. Just ordinary villager, but he was embraced by Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then this particular person becomes so empowered, he becomes so special that it is sufficient for him just to look to another person with an idea that I'm your well-wisher and I want you to chant Hare Krishna, and immediately it is sufficient for another person to get this mercy. So it is called Kripa Siddhi. Kripa Siddhi. It is called perfection on spiritual path, which is attained mainly by mercy. And in this text, in this 7th chapter of Madhya Lila, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he explains that many of these people became spiritual masters. They became Vaishnavas, they became spiritual masters, and they were distributing Krishna consciousness everywhere. So how it works? It looks like magic, right? It looks like magic because someone looks at you and immediately something drastically changes in your life. And some people, they are eager for cheap things. Some people are eager for this magic. They are thinking, let me find a person who will just look at me in particular way and my life will be transformed. My life will be changed. My heart will be changed. Just, I'm not going to do anything. Just, I have to find this special person. Well, there are such people, such persons like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or like Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada or other spiritual masters. But anyway, mainly we need to put endeavors. In order to get this mercy, 100% of the mercy which is already given, we have to unpack this box with the mercy. And to unpack this box means to follow the instructions. There is category of people who is just enjoying just to listen spiritual subject matters, to listen Krishna Katha, and it is also beneficial. But it is not sufficient. We have to implement it also. And for example, if the instruction is given that you chant holy names attentively, then it means that let me try to chant holy names attentively. And then this person, he or she can promise to himself or to herself that tomorrow I'm going to try to be attentive while chanting holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this level of spiritual life, which is called sadhusanga, sadhusanga starts from the moment when we are not just listening to the instructions, but when we also implementing these instructions in our life. Otherwise, it is just Shraddha level. It is just level of initial faith, which is also good, but not sufficient. And sometimes it can be so that a devotee, day comes and devotee becomes serious and he takes the decision that let me implement now these instructions, let me live my life according to these instructions. Previously, I was wasting my time just by listening and enjoying, but without any practical implementation. And then this person laments that, oh, I was wasting my time just without practical implementation. It was waste of time. No, sir, or no, madam, it is not waste of time because progress is going on anyway. And the result of this progress is such that person comes to the conclusion that I have to implement also. So this process of Shravanam, process of listening, which was before, even without implementation, it is also not useless process because this process was needed for a person to understand that it is good, but if I will be implementing it will be better. Because some kind of insatisfaction there is in the heart of a listener that I'm listening this and I was listening this 108 times, but because I don't implement, nothing changes in my life, you know? And ultimately, a person becomes bored with this situation that nothing changes in his life or in her life. So let me implement it. And then this process of opening the box starts. So we have to open the boxes. You know, we have so many books written by Srila Prabhupada, written by our spiritual masters. We have so many recorded classes. So just let's buy some notes and just let's take notes and let's implement these instructions one by one. And then our life will be changed and we will be so happy, so inspired to implement these instructions more and more. And also, there is one more story which I wanted to tell you today. And this story is described in, again, in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is chapter 15 from Madhya Lila, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in this chapter 15, it is described how Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts prasadam at the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. As we probably know, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the impersonalist. He was great scholar of Mayavada philosophy. But by getting association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and by getting his mercy, he became Vaishnava. So now in this 15th chapter of Madhya Lila, it is described how he was accepting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his house as a guest. He was giving him different food stuff. And in this 15th chapter of Madhya Lila, you can even read this chapter and you will see so many different foodstuffs are listed. You can read one verse after another where this foodstuff is listed, and you will feel yourself hungry. Even if you didn't feel yourself hungry, you will feel yourself hungry after reading this long list of different foodstuff with which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was fed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife. So it is described here. Where it is described, I can read some foodstuff, some foodstuff, cooked rice, then 10 kinds of spinach, soup which is called sukta, and buttermilk, and mild cake made of fried curd, and different fruits, various roots, and eggplants, and soup made with fried urad dal and mung dal, and many other things. And sweet rice also, and condensed milk and mango, and so many food stuff are listed here. I'm not going to mention everything, otherwise you will become hungry. Okay. So he was feeding Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with all these things, but Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had horrible. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had a relative, and his name was Amogha, and this Amogha was envious to Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amogha has particular habit to criticize everyone. So Amogha was son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he was eager to criticize everyone. It was his habit. It was his hobby, his entertainment. So in the verse number Madhya Lila 15.248, it is said, Ei ane triptahaya Dasha Barajana, Ekela Sanyasi Kari Eteka Bhakshana. This much food is sufficient. Amoga says. This much food is sufficient to satisfy 10 or 12 men. But this sannyasi alone is eating so much. In such way, he was criticizing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what we can say about this? About this we can say that Supreme Lord can eat whatever is given to him. He can eat it without any difficulty. And so much foodstuff was given to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has the habit to overeat, but it is because this love, this devotion, which Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife have to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this love is so big. So he decided to manifest this big love in form of a big amount of foodstuff, big amount of foodstuff. And also, there is a secret of spiritual life. The more foodstuff you offer to a saintly person, the more Maha Prasadam you can get. It is also the secret of spiritual life. The more Maha Prasadam you can get because of that. And then this Maha Prasadam can be freely distributed to those who deserve it. So Amoga said this, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became angry, and Amoga immediately left, and Bhattacharya ran after him to strike him with a stick, and then for some period of time we don't know anything about Amoga and his destiny and his life. And and of course, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he understood that Vaishnava Aparadha took place in his house, so he folded his hands before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he told, I brought you to my home just to have you blasphemed. This is great offense. Please excuse me. I beg your pardon. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna himself in the form of his own devotee. So he is about to show us how a devotee should act. So he manifested this very important Vaishnava quality, which is called humility. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answered, what Amoga has said is correct. What Amoga has said is correct, therefore it is not blasphemy. What is your offense? But anyway, after some time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found Amoga, and he has got to know that immediately after committing offense to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, Amoga fell sick, and he was about to die of this disease of cholera. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached Amoga, he found Amoga, and he gave him some instructions. He started to speak with Amoga as follows. It is verse 274 from 15th chapter of Madhya Lila. The heart of a Brahmana is by nature very clean, therefore it is a proper place for Krishna to sit. Why have you allowed the Chandala of jealousy to sit here also? In this way you have contaminated a most purified place, your heart. However, Due to the association of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, all your contamination is now vanquished. When a person's heart is cleansed of all contamination, he is able to chant the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna. Therefore, Amoga, get up and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If you do so, Krishna will unfailingly bestow mercy upon you. So again, the conclusion of this story is very simple. We can be qualified, we can be unqualified, but anyway, if we are in the process of devotional service, then we can expect mercy. And of course, it is important to avoid offenses, to avoid Vaishnava paradhas, to avoid Nama paradhas. And in this story, it is verse 292, first 91 and then 92. Verse 291. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is saying to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. First of all, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, when he has got to know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him his mercy, Bhattacharya said, "Why did you bring Amoga back to life? It would have been better had he died." And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, "Amoga is a child and your son. The father doesn't take the faults of his son seriously, especially when he is maintaining him. Now that he has become a Vaishnava, he is offenseless. You can bestow your mercy upon him without hesitation." It is quite interesting story, and there is one detail which I also want to tell you here. Where it is? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You see, the situation is such that just one moment, I'm trying to understand who is speaking these words. You see, if there is a Vaishnava who is dear to Supreme Lord, then not only this Vaishnava is dear to Supreme Lord, but also those who are relatives of this Vaishnava are dear to Supreme Lord. And whatever is connected to this Vaishnava, if this Vaishnava is dear to Supreme Lord, then whatever is connected is also dear. And in the same 15th chapter of Madhya Lila, starting from verse 93, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is speaking with Shivananda Sena, and he is saying here to Shivananda Sena, where it is? He tells him about Shivananda Sena and about those who are related to him. To say nothing of you, even a dog living in your village is very dear to me. What then to speak of others? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying about this. So it is our process. We can be qualified, we can be unqualified, but in order to get mercy of Supreme Lord, we can become our task. Our task is to be related to an exalted Vaishnava, somehow to be related to Sri Chaitanya, to Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, somehow to be related to spiritual master. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has famous bhajan in which he is saying, "I'm ready to take a birth even as an insect, but if this insect is living in Vaishnava house, I'm ready to take even such birth." So, in order to get mercy, we have to be determined to be nearby the sources of this mercy. There is Vaishnava Sangha, and Vaishnavas are ready to give their mercy. And the main question is, do we really want to get this mercy? You know, and this mood to be dependent on Vaishnava's mercy is quite important for spiritual life. And today we had Bhakti Vriksha here in Kyrgyzstan, and one devotee told me that now my understanding of this word combination, that everything happens by Vaishnava's mercy, my understanding of this word combination becomes deeper. This understanding improves, because previously I was just listening that other devotees, other people, they are saying that everything happens by Vaishnava's mercy and so on and so on, and I was thinking that it sounds like some proverb or whatever. But now, according to my practical experience, I can see that yes, we can practice Krishna consciousness mainly because we have Vaishnavas around ourselves. And we depend on Vaishnava's mercy and on their society. And there are some cases when devotees, they stop their spiritual practice. And when these devotees are asked by others, why you have stopped your spiritual life, then we can discover that in many cases, these people, they are saying, oh, we have moved to another city, and in this city there is no ISKCON community, or in this city this community is so small, or in this city we didn't find common language with this community, you know? And it means what? It means that, of course, each and every person has to earn money, has to take care of their economical situation, about career and all other things. But this point, do we have Vaishnavas nearby? Do we have them nearby? This point should be always taken in account. And some devotees, maybe because they are not serious, or maybe because of some other reasons, they just don't think they can move somewhere where this spiritual care will be not available. So it is also part of our life. Spiritual life is also a very important aspect. And if we take care only of material aspects of our life, then it can be compared with the situation which is described in Bhagavad Gita, that we have a bird, and bird is situated inside the cage, and we take care of this cage, we paint this cage, but we don't give food to this bird. Or for example, someone is about to sink in the sea, in the river, and we go there, and we say, but we're not about to save the person himself, but we just take his cloth, and we and we show this cloth to other person, and we're saying that okay, now it is saved. Clothes are saved, but person itself himself is gone. So the same way, materialistic people, they are taking care of external things, but they are not taking care of themselves, of spiritual souls. So we should be nearby, and we should have this mood of this service spirit, mood of servitude. Means there are devotees, and time to time we can ask ourselves, and we can ask them, how can I serve you? And they can give us their answers, how we can serve them. And then we can serve, and in such way our connection with Vaishnava society is remaining. And then it means that we are protected by Vaishnava society. And in such way we can get their mercy. Means mercy is available for those who are trying to get this mercy. Sometimes This mercy can come in our life causelessly, but mainly if we're speaking about spiritual life, when we decided to dedicate our life to um, spiritual advancement, if we really want to progress day after day, year after year, it means that we should be active in this process, and we should be nearby devotees. We should be with them, and we should take part in their activities. Like Srila Prabhupada, he was saying, united we stand, divided we fall. So if we follow this simple instruction given by Srila Prabhupada, then we are protected by Supreme Lord, by Spiritual Master, by Srila Prabhupada, and by Vaishnava Society. And if you have some questions, please ask your questions and we will discuss these questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Let us all offer our heartfelt gratitude to Prabhuji, for delivering such a profound and soul nourishing session on this, mercy factor of Shri Krishna on session number two. The insights that Prabhuji has shared from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the story which he has shared with us, I think it has all reminded us, how we can understand Lord Krishna's mercy, that it is timeless, it is causeless, it's unconditional, and Krishna is the ultimate shelter for all of us. So, as Prabhuji has said, if you have any kind of questions, so you are, just feel free to ask, but turn by turn. Yes, you can raise your hands. And please don't forget to, greet Prabhuji in the chat box for delivering such a beautiful session. Haribol.
Haribol.
Yeah. Any questions? You can raise your hands and let's proceed with
Prabhuji,
the Q&A session.
is it your real name which is written here in the Zoom box, or it is your nickname?
Uh, no, Prabhuji. My real name is Sarthak Soni.
Ah, okay. Hare Krishna.
I like this name because I use this as my spam ID, for
Ah,
college work and everything. That's the thing. So most
okay.
people actually think that my name is Mickey. No.
Ah, okay. Hare Krishna. So, what are the questions?
Yes, Gorangi Mataji, you can ask your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Thank you for such a wonderful session, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, endeavor is the only thing that God counts from devotee and every person. But sometimes we lack in that and we cheat with ourselves. So how can we get right out of it? Hare Krishna.
I understood nothing. Sorry. What is the question? Haribol.
Should I
Haribol.
repeat? Hare Krishna. Or Miki Prabhuji, you will tell Hare
I
Krishna.
just didn't understand the question.
Prabhuji, if I'm not mistaken, Mataji intended to ask you
Uh-huh.
that all we know is that, endeavors matter when we pray to Lord. But
Uh-huh.
sometimes it so happens that we cheat ourselves. So, how to
Ah,
get rid of that?
how to get rid of cheating ourselves?
Yeah.
Well, mm, in some cases, our seniors can help if we have a counselor, and in case if we have faith in this particular person, we can just approach and ask him or ask her, "Do I cheat myself or not?" Sometimes it can happen. But again, it requires particular example. What do we mean by cheating ourselves? Because if we can take particular example, and then it will be more clear. What do you mean by cheating yourselves?
Like Prabhuji, Maya captivate us now. Like
Yeah, that's right.
uh,
We are
in
always
Bhakt
in Maya. Don't worry. We're here in material world. We are in this Maya. So and what is the question?
how to get right of it, Prabhuji.
Ah,
From cheating us. That is a question. Okay, I will ask this to from my mentor, and I'm having one more question. My Prabhuji met today, one Prabhuji. They were discussing between, and he said कि a person or a devotee should be bhav grahi, not that niyam grahi. Prabhupada said that. Is it that, Prabhuji?
um, dear administrator, please help me to understand the question.
Surely, Prabhuji. Mataji wants to say that. Yeah, she's saying that she happened to meet a devotee,
Uh-huh.
if I'm not mistaken, today itself,
Uh-huh.
and during that conversation, she get to know that what's the difference between bhavagrahi
Uh-huh.
and niyamagrahi. So Srila Prabhupada used to say this, that we
Okay.
shouldn't be, niyamgrahi, we should be bhavagrahi.
That's
Which one should be prioritized?
Which one
Bhav.
should prioritized? Okay.
Ah, well, Niyama Graha, it is term from Nectar of Instruction, from Upadeshamrita. So it is particular thing which is not recommended for spiritual life. Niyama Graha means improper attitude to rules and regulations. There are two ways, two kinds of Niyama Graha. The first one is that when we follow just because we have to follow, means without any clear understanding what is the meaning of these instructions. And the second way of niyamagraha, the second kind of niyamagraha is when we decide not to follow these instructions. Two ways. The first one is when we follow, but not for spiritual advancement, but like a ritual, or for example, to get something material, means it is deviation to karma. Deviation to karma. And when we reject these rules and regulations, it is deviation to jnana. It is deviation to some kind of impersonalism when we think that life is okay without following these rules. And Bhavagrahi Janardana, it is one of the names of Sri Krishna. And the meaning of this name is that, first of all, Krishna he pays attention to our intention. When we do something, when we do service, what is most important for Supreme Lord is that what was our motive, what was our intention. It was about to satisfy Supreme Lord Shri Krishna or not. So when we do something, when we do some service, there are two aspects. The first one, what is inside, means what is the motive, what is intention, and what is outside means how it was performed. And some kind of professionalism is needed here. One should be professional to to, for example, to lead good kirtan. It requires some skills, right? Or to play musical instruments, or to write articles to Back to Godhead magazine or whatever. There are different services, and it requires particular professional skills. And in some cases, person can be lacking these professional skills, but he can be quite sincere and devoted. And in such way, Krishna accepts this. Uh, Again, how we can implement this point from practical point of view, we can implement in such way that, for example, someone commits mistake in his devotional service. For example, he is a cook, and and he cooked this prasadam in such way that you are hardly able to eat it. You know, something is over salted, something is over fried, and so on. And in this moment, when you have this desire to criticize a cook, you can remind yourself, about this principle of Bhava Grahi Janardana. That, okay, maybe Cook failed in his service today, but what was his motive? Maybe he was sincerely trying to satisfy Supreme Lord, because it is not that each and every day we are how to say were successful in our devotional service. Some mistakes are happening time to time. So this judgmental position, which is not so nice in our dealings with devotees, especially when it prevails, when this judgmental position prevails. So in this moment, when we're trying to analyze when we're trying to analyze the actions of devotees who are around us, we can tell ourselves that I can see some faults, but I cannot see the heart of this devotee. And who knows, maybe in his heart he is quite sincere. And if we remember about this, then we become more tolerant to people. Of course, some managers, they have to criticize, they have to show on these faults because it is their service. And so the faults, different faults should be discussed, of course. But um, but when this judgmental mentality is there, that oh, this devotee is so bad because he is failing in his service so many times, so it is destructive for relationships. But when we remember the Krishna's mood, Krishna's attitude, it helps us to be in Krishna consciousness. It helps us to act properly in these situations. Okay, so many hands we have raised hands.
Prabhuji,
Yeah, and questions in
there's
the
a
chat
question in the
also.
chat box.
Yeah,
So, would you want me to read that
yes,
for
of
you?
course, please do it.
Yeah. Prabhuji, Niyati Mataji says that
Uh-huh.
what will happen if we do the seva aprad unintentionally unto the lotus feet of our deities?
Uh-huh.
Will the Lord forgive us or not? And if yes, then how should we forgive? I mean, how should we apologize to them? That's
Ah,
the question.
well, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Harinama Chintamani, as far as I remember, or maybe it is from another source, but it is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's instruction that it can be forgiven if we take little tapasya, we read any chapter, the whole chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And in such way, this so-called seva aparadhas can be forgiven. And the whole list, big list, about how many? 64 or whatever. Seva aparadhas are listed in Harinama Chintamani and in Nectar of Devotion also. Yes, this service to the deity is serious thing. There are many things that we have to avoid, and there are many things that we have to follow. Anyway, Lord, of course, He can forgive us. The main difficulty, if we commit Vaishnava Paradha, then mainly it can be forgiven only by those who are offended, means by those particular Vaishnavas who are offended. In the case of Vaishnava Paradha, it doesn't work in such a way that we can approach Supreme Lord and ask Him to forgive us. He will tell us, you go to that particular Vaishnava who was offended and beg for forgiveness from him. But in case of Seva Paradhas, yes, we can read Bhagavad Gita, and of course, we can fold our hands and ask deities to forgive us. Supreme Lord, He knows us very nicely, and He knows that these Seva Paradhas from our side are quite inevitable. But anyway, we can regret about this, and it will help us. Uh-huh.
Prabhuji, there's one more question, and this question is put forth by Tejaswini Mataji, and she says that it is said that we get mercy when we give mercy.
Yeah.
But if we lack empowerment to give mercy due to our own disqualifications, then what shall we do?
Well, there are three levels of devotees: juniors, seniors, and those who are on equal level. And if to speak about juniors, mainly they are on such position that mainly they get mercy. First of all, you have to get sufficient portion of mercy in order to be able to distribute. It is normal. But anyway, on any position, whatever position you are, junior, senior, whatever, any way you can serve, any way you can do some seva. So, and any person, even if he has a minimum spiritual qualification, he can act as Vartma Pradarshika Guru, means he can approach another neophyte. One neophyte can approach another neophyte, and he can tell him or her, you just join Hare Krishna movement. This movement is so nice. So it is the way how one can act as a spiritual master who is showing the path, and it is the way how we can give mercy. But again, by giving this mercy, it is quite clear for us that this mercy doesn't belong to us. We give mercy of ISKCON, mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Am I audible or not? Please tell me.
Yes, Prabhuji, you're
Audible,
audible.
very nice. Because you see here on my laptop, this screen is frozen, and I mean, video is frozen. Anyway, it is mainly, maybe it is because I opened so many tabs on my Google
Yeah,
Chrome. I will close these
yeah.
tabs when it will be unfrozen. So again, we can. But what about my video? Is it moving or not? Please tell me.
No, Prabhuji, it is static. It's not moving, but yes, we can hear you.
Very good, very good. Okay. Anyway, it will be moving after some time. Just let's have faith in this. Okay. What are other questions?
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay. Are there any questions? Yeah, there's a question by Anjali Vesh. She says, "How to control my senses when rather serving Lord? That is to engage with reading astrology, etc. Which I know it's a waste of time, but still I'm engaged with it." So
Ah, again, and what is the question? Waste of time.
Prabhuji, she wants to understand that how can she control her senses, and she should, engage all her senses in the service of Lord,
Uh-huh.
and that she know that tarot reading and then astrology, it's a waste of time, but still
Uh-huh.
she's let's say carried with it. So how to understand the difference?
Oh, by associating with saintly people who are not taking care at all about all these things. When we associate with particular people who have another interests in life, then our consciousness can be transformed. Okay.
To this, Prabhuji, I just want to add one thing that she just asked. I think tarot reading, I'm not much pretty sure about that, but yes, astrology is certainly not a waste of time. If I also happen to know some devotees, who are Krishna conscious, and they are very much exuberant, and they are very exalted when it comes to astrology as well.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, it's not so easy to understand the nuances of astrology. I myself am studying the effects of planets on everyone's birth chart, lagna chart, and so on and so forth.
Uh-huh.
But it takes tremendous amount of hard work and then understanding of
Oh,
mathematics, how the grahas work. So yes, Prabhuji, you are moving and we can see you.
I'm moving. Now I know what to do.
Yes.
Now I know what to, which button I should push. It was, I just had to close a window and to open, and it works very
Hare
easily,
Krishna Prabhu.
very easily. Yeah. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. How are you, Prabhu?
Oh, again. That's you again. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, bro.
Haribol Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I have one more question related to astrology. Can I ask?
Of course.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
Prabhuji is if we follow the Krishna consciousness movement, okay, will our planetary system will means change?
Well, planetary system,
Uh,
natal chart is not changing, but the influence of this natal chart is changing. Means we're not so
Yeah,
much under
changing money.
influence of this natal chart, but of course,
Yeah,
in this chart, we have the position of the planets, what was at the moment of our birth, and it is
yeah,
historical fact, and we cannot
yeah,
change this fact. There was such
yeah.
particular position.
Yeah, Prabhuji, as
Yeah.
I am interested in means in the means computer applications, okay, and many
Okay.
astrologers they are preparing, okay, that I cannot means succeed in my computer applications field. So, is it true or false, Prabhuji?
What is true? What is false? I don't understand.
No, Prabhuji, as I'm interested in software development course, okay.
Uh
So
huh.
many means one astrologer has predicted that I will excel in my career, but they cannot find that I will excel in my software development course. So is it true or false, Prabhuji? I cannot understand. Means many astrologers means it didn't predict the same thing. They all are predicting the different things. So that's why.
That's why we cannot rely on astrologers in Kali Yuga age because they say different things.
Yeah,
Because
Prabhuji.
big amount of Jyotish knowledge is lost.
Yeah.
Is lost. Something
Yeah.
is remains. Something is there, but a
Yeah,
lot of things are lost, and the purity of consciousness of these astrologers are also not on such
yeah,
level
yeah,
like it was before. You know.
yeah, Prabhuji, yeah. Okay, Prabhuji. I understand, Prabhuji.
Okay. Let's go to the next question.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, you are welcome.
okay, so is there any question left in the chat? I'm just reading, Prabhuji. Yeah, there's one question, Prabhuji. Julie Gupta ji asks how to tackle those persons who insult Vaishnavas in front of us, and is this a sin to listen against those Vaishnavas? So please provide us with some clarity.
Okay, whose is this question? I'm trying to find it in chat.
Uh,
Julie Gupta.
Julie Gupta.
Julie Gupta.
Yeah.
Julie Gupta. Julie Gupta Kijai. How to tackle
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
those Hare Krishna Mataji? How to tackle those persons who insult Vaishnavas in front of us? Is this a sin to listen against Vaishnavas? Please clear. Well, first of all, it depends who are these people. If they are your friends or someone who you know, you can directly tell them that it is unpleasant for you to listen such things. Please don't speak like this in my presence. If it works, if they follow your request, it is okay. If they don't follow, or for example, if they are not your, if they are, how to say, if they are not people whom you know, because occasionally we can be somewhere where Vaishnava Paradha is told, and these people are, we don't know these people, and these people, they don't know us. In this question, in this
No,
situation,
Prabhuji, they are my
yeah,
relatives.
ah,
They are my relative.
relatives. Did you try to ask them not to criticize devotees or not? Did you ask them? Haribol?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Ah,
Okay, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
what she's saying?
Prabhuji, you asked her a question and then she just replied, "Okay, Prabhuji." I
No,
think she
no.
didn't
I'm
understand
just
the
asking.
question.
Did you try or you didn't try?
No, I didn't try.
Didn't try. Okay, you try. First, you try to tell them that it is painful for you to listen such things. If it doesn't work, then just well, better to be on distance with those who are criticizing devotees. If it is technically possible, of course, it is quite important to be protected from such things. But first, you try. You try to express your feelings that it is not pleasant for you, and it is not beneficial for them to to tell such things. Okay, what is the next question?
Anjali Vash Mataji, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Just
Mataji.
like Julie Mataji said that some people do insult Vaishnavas in front of us, but the thing is, they ask us to be rational. They say that you're not being rational, you're not being pragmatic, you are just overthrown by your emotions. So how to deal with that?
How to deal? We have to understand. It is quite difficult to understand, I would say. It requires, in some cases, it requires years and maybe decades of spiritual life to understand this and to deeply realize this point that Vaishnavas can be imperfect in their qualities or in their actions, but at the same time, they are very dear to Lord Krishna. But their activities and their actions and other things can be imperfect. So, rationality it is okay, but there is this particular point how they are estimated by Supreme Lord. And if those relatives who are criticizing devotees, if they are not believers, if they are not Vaishnavas, they cannot understand and they cannot analyze this point. I mean, this point is not important for them. And because of that, their analysis of this situation is not complete because of that. Uh, First of all, we have to understand ourselves that there are different devotees and they act in different ways. But Krishna, he takes care of them. And the more we understand this, the more we can expect this understanding from others. So first we have to to start from ourselves. And again, because we have to deal with different devotees on our spiritual path, in some cases, a lot of patience is needed, when we deal with some particular devotees. But the more we realize it inside our heart, the more these people are not inclined anymore to criticize devotees in your presence. It works on subtle level, on subtle level. Uh, like for example in the presence of sannyasi or in the presence of spiritual master, just he is with us, and at this moment we're not about to do prajalpa, for example, or we're not about to discuss different nonsense. So the same way, first of all, we have to change ourselves, and because we are connected with our relatives and our friends on subtle level, so in because of that, they will feel what is uh, what should be told in your presence, and what should not be told. But for that, you have to understand it deeply and to realize it deeply in such way that it will change your heart. And it usually takes years, decades. In order to get real understanding of these things, which I wish you to get. And you can ask other devotees also, those senior devotees who you know. You can ask them to help you to learn how to appreciate devotees. If you appreciate, then they automatically it will influence on them. It will influence on them. Because maybe they don't appreciate devotees, but likely they appreciate you. If they appreciate you, they will help to accept your preferences also, at least to some extent, to that extent to which they are able to accept it.
Prabhuji, can I add my 2 cents?
Yes, yes,
What
of
you have
course,
just
of
said?
course you can do. Please.
I'll not take much time. So, Mataji, the question that you asked and the answer that Prabhuji just gave, I just have to say two more things to that. You know, I was listening to Gaur Gopal Prabhu and Amrendra Prabhuji. So, both of them actually said this one beautiful thing that actually, stayed with my mind. So, Prabhuji said that if someone wants to criticize you, you cannot control, or let's say, if someone wants to criticize someone, you can't, completely say to them that you can't do this or you can't do that, right? And we all know this, that each of us are struggling with our vices, which is sitting inside our hearts, be it in the form of Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Matsar, and so on and so forth. So each of us has a different layer to it, right? So all you can do is that you can escape, you can try to escape, and you can just leave that place altogether, so that whenever, and you also have to understand their intentions as well. What happens with us, that we try to judge others by their actions, not by their intentions, but actually it should be the vice versa. We should judge ourselves by our own actions. So that ways you can understand the nuances. And again, I mean, you can't control people, what they can speak to you. They can be polite to you, they can be gentle and kind to you, but especially if they're doing this blasphemy against devotees, or they are committing Vaishnava aprad, whimsically, not whimsically, I should say, they are doing, let's say, out of intentionally. If they are doing that intentionally, so again, you can pray for them. uh, you can sincerely pray for them, and Krishna is definitely going to purify their hearts. So that's what I want to say. Haribol.
Haribol. Thank you. Okay, do we have
Anyone
some more questions or
else?
thoughts?
Prabhuji, I'll just ask the devotees. Yes, any more questions? Sagar Prabhu, do you want to ask a question? Or someone else? Any questions? Okay, Divyanshi Mataji
Divyanshi.
wants to.
Divyanshi Prabhuji. Prabhuji?
Mataji, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
She is
Aha,
Mataji.
okay. Hare Krishna, please. Please.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Hare Rama.
मुझे इंग्लिश थोड़ी नहीं आती, तो आप ट्रांसलेट कर दोगे?
Yeah,
We'll
I'll
go
try.
on in
Yeah.
Hindi and he will translate. Yes, please do it.
हाँ, तो प्रभु जी, मेरा मतलब थोड़ा-सा ना एसोसिएशन उतना ज़्यादा नहीं मिला है, और अभी ना भक्ति भी उतनी अच्छी से नहीं हो पा रही है। और लगभग भक्ति में मैं न्यू ही हूँ, और मंदिर आना-जाना नहीं हो पाता। अभी मंदिर भी 15 किलोमीटर से ज़्यादा दूर है। तो उसमें ना अभी मतलब भक्ति में मतलब डर लग रहा है कि कहीं मैं भी छोड़ ना दूँ, मतलब मैनेज नहीं हो पा रहा है एक तो, अभी जेईई वाली प्रिपरेशन के साथ, और ये तो मतलब ये मायावादी का जो है ना कॉन्सेप्ट, ये बहुत ज़्यादा डर लगता है कि कहीं मैं भी ना मायावादी बन जाऊँ।
Prabhuji, I'll just try to put it in simple words. If I'm not mistaken, she is studying right now, and she's just afraid of the fact that she shouldn't get carried away by the Maya, that into Mayavad philosophy, and she's completely new, to Bhakti. So she just want to understand that, how she can protect herself from not being carried
Uh,
away into Mayavad philosophy and so on and so forth.
just stick to ISKCON. If you want to be protected from Mayavada philosophy, then just take these philosophical discussions from ISKCON only. And
And Prabhuji, she also said that her, the ISKCON nearest temple is also a little bit far away from her home, and she just wants to understand how she can strike a balance between, her studies as well, and how she can also practice her devotional services and her bhakti as well.
okay, just one moment. Op, Hare Krishna. Now it works again. Uh-huh. So, well, it depends what is her spiritual standard now. If she is chanting 16 rounds, then she should continue with this. If it is less than 16 rounds, then gradually it can be increased. And regarding visiting ISKCON temples, attending programs in ISKCON temples, well, at least once a week, at least on Sunday program. And if there is a chance to visit more, but at least once a week. Once a week it is bare minimum. And of course, it is highly needed to have some seniors who will be guiding her. You can translate.
आई होप दिवांशी माता जी आप समझ नहीं पाई होंगे, कोई बात नहीं, मैं बताने का प्रयास करता हूँ प्रभु जी ने जस्ट क्या कहा। आप मेंटोर्स की गाइडेंस रख सकती हैं, और फिर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा चैंट करने की कोशिश करें। जितना ज़्यादा आप नाम भगवान का चैंट करेंगी, सर्टेनली वो आपकी सहायता ज़रूर करेंगे। और आई थिंक ये प्रॉब्लम सभी के साथ है, बट आपको बस पेशेंस रखना है, फेथ रखना है, और जो प्रोसेस है डिवोशनल सर्विस का, आपको बस उसको कंटिन्यू रखना है। दैट इज, और अपना एसोसिएशन जरूर आपको चेंज करने की कोशिश करनी है। आपको उन्हीं लोगों को सुनना चाहिए जिससे आपकी जो कॉन्शियसनेस है वो अपलिफ्ट हो। आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा कृष्ण कॉन्शियस डिवोटीज का संग ऑनलाइन के प्लेटफॉर्म के माध्यम से कर सकते हैं, आप कथा सुन सकते हैं। सो दैट इज हाउ आपका जो हार्ट है, कॉन्शियसनेस है, वो सबलाइम रहेगी। और ऐसे आप फोकस भी रहेंगे, और आपकी जो प्रेप चल रही है, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन जेई आपने कहा था, सो वो भी आप साथ साथ कंटिन्यू कर पाएंगे। ऑल यू नीड टू डू इज चैंट repeatedly and to just pray from the Lord, and certainly is going to help you out.
हाँ प्रभु जी, मैं हमेशा इस्कॉन के ही भक्तों का जो कॉन्सेप्ट होता है ना वही सुनती हूँ, क्योंकि पता है फिर एसोसिएशन बहुत मैटर करता है। तो फिर लेकिन फिर भी ये जो मतलब है ना, तो ये थोड़ा डिस्टर्ब कर देता है माइंड को, कि कहीं मैं भी बाद में ऐसी ना बन जाऊँ।
नहीं माता जी, आपको पहले से जो चीज हुई नहीं है उसके बारे में नहीं सोचना है। सर्टेनली आप अभी हम सभी के एसोसिएशन में हैं और डिवोटीज का संग करने की कोशिश कर रही हैं, सो कृष्ण आपकी प्रोटेक्शन जरूर करने वाले हैं। सो आपको बस फेथ रखना है, आपको डर नहीं जाना है, घबरा नहीं जाना है कि आप एकदम से कैरिड अवे हो जाएंगे मायावाद के थ्रू। बट आप जितनी अपने आप से कोशिश कर सकती हैं थ्रू योर एंडेवर्स, थ्रू योर एफर्ट्स, सो इट्स गोइंग टू हेल्प यू आउट इवेंचुअली। सो दैट्स द पॉइंट। You don't have to get afraid कि ऐसा हो जाएगा वैसा हो जाएगा। That's the thing.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Sagar Prabhu ji, one last question we'll take Prabhu ji.
Okay.
So Sagar Prabhu ji wanted to ask.
Okay.
Now you can ask the question. Prabhu ji, I think he has left the meeting. He was waiting for a while.
So we have one more question from Julie Gupta. Every senior devotee say that give them prasadam who criticize Vaishnavas, so I gave them prasadam continuously 3 months, but their mentality didn't change at all. Why? Because we give prasadam not in order to not with not with expectation that they will immediately change their mentality. We just give this prasadam, as we say, out of mercy, just because we want them to progress spiritually. Will it help or it will not help? Who knows? In some situations it helps, in some situations it doesn't help. Because you see, in order to stop someone to criticize devotees, there should be some authoritative person who will explain that it is not good to criticize, and who will explain the consequences. But when you give prasadam, how prasadam can explain them the consequences? Prasadam cannot speak. Prasadam, you just eat prasadam, that's all. Prasadam is not about to give you some spiritual instructions. Of course, it changes mentality, but how it changes, it also depends in which mood one is taking prasadam. Because you can take prasadam with understanding that it is prasadam, and you can take prasadam just because it is delicious food, and it gives different results. Sagar Jinval raised his hand, his or her, his hand.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ji, Dandavat Pranam.
Oh, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please speak.
Prabhu ji, first of all, my English.
Can we see you? Can we see you? Is it possible? Can we see you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Hare Bol,
Yes, sir.
that's you.
Hare Bol,
Hare
Prabhu ji.
Bol.
Prabhuji, first of all, my English very low.
So what is the question or what is your point?
Sir,
No problem, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, my question is तिलक तिलक क्यों लगाना चाहिए और जब हम तिलक लगाते हैं इसका महत्व क्या है और हमें ये हर एक वैष्णव को ही क्यों लगाना चाहिए?
Prabhuji, he wants to know that we are putting up this Vaishnava Tilak, right? So, what's the reason behind it? Why are we putting Vaishnav Tilak, and why should Vaishnavas put, this Tilakam?
Oh,
That's his question.
It is very nice, philosophical, practical, spiritual question.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
But I didn't. Why? Thank you. I didn't give the answer. These two lines. These lines are symbolizing the lotus feet of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and this part symbolizes the tulasi leaf, and this movement when we put like this, it means we are about to elevate our consciousness. We want to go higher in our consciousness. It is the meaning of this sign. And why we put this sign? Because when people they see this sign, they understand that person belongs to Brahma Gaudiya Madhava Sampradaya, to Vaishnava tradition, right? First, then it purifies a person who has this tilaka on his forehead. It is for my purification. And according to the sacred scriptures, please mute your mic. Okay. And it is for my purification, and it is for purification of those who will be who is going to see this tilak on my forehead. It is beneficial for everyone who has it on his forehead, for those who see this tilak, and it is also the way how we can help people to understand to which tradition we belong.
प्रभु जी आप हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट कर देंगे जी?
जी, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ आपके लिए ट्रांसलेट करने के लिए। तो प्रभु जी ने ये बताया है कि ये आप जो देख रहे हैं लाइन्स, ये श्री कृष्ण के जो चरणारविंद हैं वो हैं, राइट? और ये जो आप देख रहे हैं ये तुलसी देवी है, राइट? तो उसका मीनिंग ये होता है कि वो जगह जहाँ पे राधा कृष्ण मिलते हैं, दैट्स वृंदावन। और दूसरी बात ये भी सिंबलाइज करता है कि जब भी कोई व्यक्ति, चाहे वो डिवोटी हो या नॉन डिवोटी हो, वो हमारे संपर्क में आता है या जब वो हमें देखता है तो एक्सीडेंटली ही उसको वो मेरिट मिल जाता है भगवान को याद करने का, क्योंकि उसने वो तिलक को देख लिया, तिलक को दर्शन कर लिया। सो ग्रेजुअली जब आप लगाने भी लगते हैं तिलक, सो आपका जो हार्ट है वो प्यूरिफाई होते चले जाता है। सो दैट्स द पॉइंट। आई होप आप समझ पाए।
जी धन्यवाद।
हरे कृष्ण।
यस, धन्यवाद। I think RS ने क्वेश्चन किया था। This is the last question we are going to take. So yes.
RS.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for your association, and we have been attending your sessions earlier too. And my question, Prabhuji, is we are associating with the devotees every time, Prabhuji. And in spite of that, why there is so much of fluctuation with respect to bhakti, with respect to the way we have to be devoted towards God and towards the acharyas and all of them, and toward the scriptures. And there's a fluctuation with regard to the entire mood and other things, in spite of being associated. It all depends on the way we have been treated on that particular day, or the way we have been associated with different circumstances. So there would be a lot of changes, Prabhuji. So that constancy and constant way of having it, how we have been heard from other acharyas, sometimes it is lagging, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Sometimes it is what?
It does lag, Prabhuji. It does lag,
It
and
does lag.
that same sort of, yeah, that percentile of that doesn't stay every time to that level, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Well, our consciousness depends on three things according to the instructions of Parashara Muni. Prabhuji, you know about Parashara Muni, about his instructions, right? You know, three things. It means the first one, it is the experience of our past lives. Experience of our past lives. The second part, it is our childhood, how our parents were taking care of us or they didn't take care of us and so on, and what kind of person they were trying to form from us. It is the second. And the third one is the association with which we choose now. So these fluctuations are because of experience of our past lives, because of our experience in childhood, and because of our current situation. And what we can do, we can try to analyze our lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle we have now, and is this lifestyle beneficial for spiritual life or not? And if in some points it is not beneficial, it can be corrected. And regarding our past, what happened, it happened. So what we can do? We deal with these samskaras, with these impressions from our past lives, and we are disturbed sometimes by these samskaras. But anyway, what to do? We have to tolerate it. Матрас паршасту каунтея шитошна сукха дукхадах. Agamapayana nitya stam stitikshasо bharata. We have just to tolerate it, and also when we chant holy names of Krishna, this karma can be annihilated just by power of chanting of the holy names. So these two are needed: the tolerance, and at the same time we can analyze our life and to decide what is beneficial for my spiritual life that I should be stick to, and what is not beneficial that I should reject. And in that sense, our lifestyle, we can change a little bit. Our daily routines, our lifestyle. And as far as I know, here in India, in Delhi, you have different practical seminars about lifestyle, about good habits, all this stuff. So if you didn't take this, you can take these seminars, and they will explain you how we can just transform our typical day, our daily routines, how we can change, do some uh, tiny changes in our life, but these tiny changes can lead to big transformation if these changes are uh, beneficial for spiritual life.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes,
you
Prabhuji.
too. Thank you too for your hospitality.
No,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, no hospitality from my side.
Hospitality.
It was my service towards all of you, and I hope I did my best.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Okay, dear devotees. Goodbye. Good night. We will be having more sessions. I'm not speaking about next Saturday. Next Saturday I will be busy, but again, we will discuss with our managers, and time to time we will be having, by your mercy, we will be having some sessions with you if it is possible. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, all the devotees, for joining in this session and making it more beautiful. And last but not the least, the very same thing remains the same. That please keep joining all the sessions, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to Sri Guru Gauranga Gaurnitai. And just try to follow all these principles that Prabhuji has shared with us. and very soon you will be able to know that your life will get completely changed. And once again, Dandat Pranam to all the devotees. Thank you so much for your
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
esteemed
Dandavat pranam.
association. Dandat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Thank you so much.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare
Om
प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम
Pratyasha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha.